Okay, this is a perfect example of what happened to a previous renter that did not. This should be laying flat here. Actually, the power cord is stored in this area, and the unit comes with a 25-foot, 30-amp power cord. Most of the campgrounds that you go to are going to have 30 amps of power. You may run into some that have 50. You're going to need, when you're requesting your campsites, make sure that you request 30 amp power connection. Okay, what I'm getting at here is this particular renter happened to leave this door open instead of securing it closed and running the power cord through here and then securing it closed. They had it open, so when the slide out actually extended or retracted, it did catch the cover here, and this is going to be replaced, but this is a perfect example of what can happen if you don't follow right procedures. The power cord, you're gonna hook that up to the campsite. In this particular case, we are hooked in to the dealership, and this is the 30 amp power connection. This is what it looks like. Okay, we do provide you with an adapter to go from the 30 amp connection to a regular 110 volt connection. Now, the only reason we're providing you with this is if you do plug the unit in at home and you want to load it and so that the lights and everything are working for you, we provide you this, but we do not want you running the air conditioner, the roof air conditioner, or the microwave if you are using this adapter, because you're not getting the full 30 amps of power, and you're going to be blowing breakers either in your home or where you're plugged into, or you're going to damage the appliance inside the unit. So ideally, you should make sure that at all times you are plugged into a 30 amp power connection. Okay. If you do use a extension cord at all, we want you to use a 30 amp power extension cord. Generally, the 30 or the 25-foot cord on the unit is sufficient for you. Okay, when you're done with the cord, you're going to push it all back inside here, and then you're going to close this. It'll have a lock on it or a fastener on it that's going to secure it. What I'm showing right here is you can flip this little flipper up. When it's closed, it's all closed off. Otherwise, when it's flipped up, that's where your cord is able to come out through. Okay, when you're not using the power cord and you're driving down the road, what we want you to do is to actually have the cord put away, just stuff it into this area, and the power cord or the connection should be plugged in to this outlet here, and that's what's that if you run your generator, it's actually providing from the generator, it's going to provide power, 110 volt power to the whole coach. So always when you go to put the cord away, always re-plug it into this connection. Okay, we're going to stay on power, so I am going to plug it back in. Okay, right now the slide is in. The awning on top will come out with the slide out. When we do bring the slide out, the awning just covers the top side of the slide out. Here is more storage for you. This area is the generator, and really there's no reason that you should be doing anything with the generator. On the outside there is an on-off switch as well as an hour meter inside, but this is the just the access to the generator right here. Okay, and the final storage area is under here. Again, there's more storage here. Just keep in mind that if you do have the slide out room out, these two areas are going to be very difficult to get to. So anything that you load into this area, make sure that you access it before you put the slide out, or access it after you have the slide out in. Okay, a few things on the coach or the chassis part of the unit. These mirrors are collapsible. So if for whatever reason you are going to be in a area where they, where it would be, they'd be kind of a nuisance to be having them out maybe on your campsite, or you just want to make sure that nothing comes in contact with them, you can push them and put away. On the inside, they are power. The mirrors themselves are power, so any adjustments can be made from the inside of the unit. What this is right here, and you're going to see that on the passenger side as well, these are side view mirrors. Very nice when you go to put your blinkers on to either go right or left, you'll actually see what's on the side of you. So just another little safety feature, and the monitor for that is also a backup monitor when you are in reverse. Even with all the mirrors or all the cameras, I still want people to have spotters or someone watching actually if they are backing up. Cameras can't show you everything, but these are really a very nice feature to help with when you're passing someone or someone's passing you, or you're turning and that there's nothing in your right of way. Okay, there are lights on the front of the coach. Those are not to be on when you're going down the road. They're more for decoration when you're parked on the campsite. The control for those is at the front step. Okay, I think we covered the outside, everything except the awning. So I'm going to take a minute and just show you the awning. I did open the door before, so right now I'm just gonna, the door is only gonna open this far, and the reason for that is this awning arm is right on the side. The door is, there is no hook or latch to hook it back or anything. It is spring loaded here. Okay, on the inside, it does have a power awning, meaning it's strictly handled with a button right here. Let me just show you. There's a lot of controls here, but right here is the in and the out. Right now, of course, the awning is in, but if we wanted to put it out, we're just going to press that button down. Now, one thing to make sure is you want to make sure there aren't any trees, there isn't anything obstructing letting that awning go freely out into place. Very, very nice. Nice long awning. It gives you lots of protection from the sun. One of the things that I'm showing you right here is at this point, it is out all the way. Once you see this flap and it is perpendicular or vertical here, stop. Don't continue trying to extend the awning. You will overextend it. Now at this point, it does have arms on it here that if you wanted to tilt a little area here, you can put a little pressure on it and tighten the arm. Okay. One of the things that I want to caution you on is if it is raining out or if you aren't going to be near the motorhome for a length of time, put the awning away. The awning is a very, very expensive accessory, and it is not covered by insurance. So if there is any damage to the awning, that is $1,000 right off the bat. So use caution. We want you to use the awning, but we also want you to put it away when it's not in use. And if it would start raining heavy, you can be out here in the rain. It does have a dump feature. It'll automatically dump the water based on puddling, but we'd still really like you to put it away. Just use caution when you're using it. Again, just to put the awning away, I'm just coming to this button and I'm pressing the in, and it's retracting. And again, I can stop at any time, like if I only want it out this far. or if there is a reason that I need to stop, I can stop along the way. You're going to see that in the middle there, it's going to cradle right up into that center support there, and it'll stop on its own. Okay, but this is what it should look like, exactly like this before you travel. Make sure that everything is all secured and that before you set out to travel. With the screen door here, okay, the screen automatically hooks to the door. There's a little flipper right here that you use to disconnect the screen door from the main door, and then you just use this slider plate. It is plastic. It's an RV style slider plate, so you just kind of have to use this to be able to move and open and close the door. Okay. Looking on the inside here are the two locks that we talked about earlier. This one's going to be your deadbolt, and here it's showing that it's locked. Here it's unlocked, and this one is locked or unlocked. Of course, both of them need to be unlocked for the door to be able to be used. Before you start travel, I always recommend the last person in the motorhome locks both of the latches so that the door will be more secure during travel. And also that if you were to stop or whatever, nobody can open up the door. So just last person in, make sure they lock both locks. Okay, going into the unit, one of the things, let's look down here. This is what's called the battery disconnect. Okay, and you should always, this knob should always be in the on position. Okay, when it is in the on position, what that means is it's actually charging. The motorhome has two batteries. It's got an engine battery and it's got a house battery. If this is always in the on position, it's always charging the house battery if you are plugged in, if you're running the generator, or if you're driving down the road. Okay, the porch light is noted right here, and again, if you toggle it up, it's in the on position, down, in, off. Entry light, this will turn the lights on inside, some of the lights as you come into the unit. Okay, rear compartment light, we did touch on that before when we were at the back of the unit. This is where that light is to turn it on. Just make sure that this is in the off position when it's not being used. Okay, the front cap lights, those are the lights that I pointed out, that are the LED strip lights in the front overhead cab area on the exterior. Again, we want you not to use those when you're traveling down the road, but if you wanted to identify your unit at a campground and that, you can turn those on. Okay, and there is a little light that illuminates behind there. Okay, looking up at this area right here, this is another very important area. Okay, one of the things is this kind of tells you your levels of everything. This is marked LP gas, and this unit, generally LP gas is going to read 2/3 full. It does need some room for expansion in the heat, so 2/3 is considered a full tank. Battery condition, it's showing that it's fully charged. Fresh water, we do have fresh water in this unit. There's water so that if you're traveling down the road and wanted to use the facilities or wash your hands, you do have water in the system. Black water is empty. Black water, again, is the toilet water. Gray water, shower water. Right now the tank is empty. And the auxiliary battery, actually the auxiliary, it's not using that, so disregard that. Okay, tank heaters, you won't be using the tank heater. This button here should always be on the off position, or to just like it is showing right here. What that is it would be like heating pads that are on the tanks, and we do not recommend that. We don't rent in the winter months to have anybody have a use for that. Okay, the hot water heater is right here, if you're hooked up to electric at the site, you would run the hot water heater on electricity. You're paying for electricity, use the electric side of the hot water heater. Okay, it's got one hot water heater, but it's got a heating element, or it's got an electrical element and a gas. This would be if you're using the gas. You're using one or the other, never both. It's one or the other. The water pump. If you were going to, we have water in the tank. If you're going to be using the facilities and want to flush the toilet, you would have to turn the pump on. Always think of the pump as it's the driving force to be able to pump the water to the faucets or to the toilet. Now, if you are hooked up to city water, if you're hooked up to a hose on the outside of the unit, you don't need a pump. Then it's pressurized. So you're only using the pump if you're trying to take the water out of the tanks. Slide room buttons right here, I'll touch on those in just a moment, but over here is the generator, start and stop, and this button down here is to prime the generator. Now the generator, if you were going down the road, okay, remember, if you're going down the road, you're not going to be able to use any of the electric outlets. The TV will not work going down the road. The roof air conditioner will not work going down the road, or the microwave. They need to have the generator running. So in order to use the generator, you would prime the generator, and a light will illuminate. And at that time, once it goes blue, then we are able to start the generator. And by doing that, you're just pushing down the start button, and you can kind of hear, it's going to almost sound like a lawnmower, maybe a little quieter than a lawnmower. But what that's doing is it's actually producing 110 volt power. Okay, this right here is your hour meter for the generator, and we do charge per hour. We have a $4.95 per hour charge for the generator, but it is well worth it if you want to be able to use any of the electric appliances or outlets. Now again, to stop the generator, you're just pressing this button to the stop position and hold it down until it stops. Okay, I need to take just a little break.